Hey, what's up guys, this is Shukesh once again. Today I have for you the full in-depth review on the Samsung Galaxy On Nxt, which is priced at 18,490 rupees, that is approximately $275 US, and as I mentioned before on my previous videos, I do love this new design of Samsung, but if you have seen any review of Galaxy J7 Prime, then I should mention here this phone is basically the same device with double the storage, but interestingly the performance of this phone, especially the gaming performance, is slightly better than a J7 Prime. What I like most on this smartphone is the 2.5D Gorilla Glass display, which makes the screen immersive, and the handling, the build quality of this phone is also top class. Samsung improved their mid-range in couple of ways. There I have with me the Samsung Galaxy On8, which shares the same screen size, same resolution, same battery, RAM and rear camera, but the CPU, GPU are slightly inferior. On the other hand, the Galaxy J7 2016 sports the same CPU, GPU, but the RAM is smaller. Now on this On Nxt, you have a fingerprint sensor, an LED notification light, and the location of the loudspeaker is on the side, which is the best location for gaming and watching movies. This smartphone is also metal unibody, the battery is inbuilt, there is no NFC, the camera lens is not protruding unlike most of the Samsung smartphones including flagships, so this is a well thought out design by the company. By far this is the best looking smartphone under 20,000 rupees, I will say. Especially the black color, though there is a gold variant of this phone as well. There are few things you should be aware of. First of all, the display is basically TFT LCD, not Super AMOLED unlike the On8, J7 or J5. It's 5.5 inches Full HD with 401 ppi. The viewing angles are actually quite poor compared to Super AMOLED. The color rendering is not bad, but again not as vibrant as Super AMOLED, especially red, orange and black levels. The maximum brightness is also not as per Super AMOLED and IPS screen. Next, let's talk about the fingerprint sensor. It's a very responsive sensor, works at least 9 out of 10 times, and you can try any angle. Sometimes it bypasses the lock screen, and of course you have to basically push the home button to make this work, unlike most of the Chinese branded phones. Next, the loudspeaker is I think louder than your Galaxy On8, your J7 2016. The clarity is also good, but still it's not impressive, not the best speaker in its class. There is no ambient light sensor on this smartphone, and the front 8 megapixel camera shoots impressive images. I will talk more about the cameras later. The battery is of 3300 mAh and I am actually quite happy with the battery performance. The ear speaker is loud enough, but again not the loudest I have seen. Of course, the micro USB 2.0 port is OTG enabled, that is you can attach your pen drive, your mouse, keyboards, etc. As I mentioned before, there is no ambient light sensor, and you also don't get the gyroscope, the magnetometer. The front facing camera flash is also missing. If you are into VR gaming 360-degree videos, this Galaxy On Nxt won't support this. So keep this in mind before you get a VR headset for this smartphone. Now, one thing I should mention here, though you have 3GB of RAM on this Galaxy On Nxt, the RAM management is not as good as other Samsung devices, especially the Galaxy On8, which has the same amount of RAM. I have done a comparison, a RAM management test in between On8 and On Nxt. What I have seen is this smartphone cannot even handle 5 or 6 applications at a time in the background. So Samsung might have actually restricted the maximum amount of RAM that can be used. There are some benefits. For example, the battery life will be much better, there will be no overheating, and it's actually true. I'm extremely happy with the battery, the heat management of this smartphone. I have seen the same scenario on the J7 Prime as well. As I mentioned before, the only difference in between On Nxt and J7 Prime is you have double, that is 32GB storage, and interestingly the price of On Nxt is 300 rupees less. As far as battery life is concerned, I am actually using this phone continuously for the last 3 days. That's why the remaining time is showing 5 or 6 hours. On mixed uses, you can expect at least 1 full day or 1.5 days or even 2 days if you are not a gamer. As I discussed on my gaming review, this phone doesn't even heat up. The temperature never crosses 40 degrees Celsius, so compared to Motorola or Xiaomi, Lenovo, etc., the heat management of this smartphone is much better. Now let's talk about the real life performance of this smartphone, the speed of the UI, the benchmarks, gaming, etc. And if you have already seen the On8 versus On Next speed test, then you know that the UI is actually quite fast. Most of the system apps open quicker on this On Next, but the game loading time is not as fast as on 8. On Antutu 6, this phone secured 42,862, which is basically a mediocre score. The 3D score is quite poor. Let me compare it side by side with the Moto G4 Plus, which has got 46,926, but the 3D score is almost double. That's why the gaming performance of this smartphone is much better than the On 8. Brothers in Arms 3, which lags on this On Next, can be played smoothly on the Motorola Moto G4 Plus. The score on the Galaxy On 8 is also very close. The 3D score is higher, but what I found is the On Next actually performs better in hardcore gaming. There I have the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3 with 67,678. The 3D score is crazy, 18,262, and as you know, this smartphone cost only 12,000 rupees. There are some similarities on the exterior design, especially the back look, and I should mention here the camera, battery and heat management are better on the On Next. The SIM card 2 slot is hybrid, but for gaming this smartphone is much better than this Galaxy On Next. So how bad is the gaming performance? Let's find out. This is the 3D Mark Gamers Benchmark score, and you can get an idea about the gaming performance. I do suggest you to check the gaming review of this smartphone. Brothers in Arms 3 lags too much on this phone. It's not playable, I think. Other Samsung devices like J7 Prime On 8 also lag. The only Samsung mid-range that can handle this phone without any issue is the J7 2016. As I mentioned before, J7 6 shares the same CPU and GPU as this On Next, but the resolution is just 720p, so the GPU has to push the lower resolution graphics, and the gaming performance is awesome, as good as Redmi Note 3 and Moto G4 Plus. The Mali T830 GPU you have on this smartphone is not capable of handling Full HD high-end graphics. But apart from Brothers in Arms 3, most of the games are playable. The Asphalt 8 in high graphics lags sometimes, but the frame drop is not noticeable that much. Even Nova 3 is playable. I also tried Modern Combat 5 and there wasn't any lag or hanging issue. Now guys, let me give you a quick tour of the software and the interface. I have uploaded a separate tips and tricks review on this smartphone. Check the description below for the link. Now let's have a quick look. If you triple tap, the whole screen will shrink to a smaller window, which is more user friendly for one-handed uses. So if you are walking or in a crowded place, you can actually use this gesture, handle the phone with one hand without any issue. You can also triple tap the power key to send SOS messages to your near and dear ones when you are in danger. An SOS message with your location, images captured by the front and rear cameras, and audio recording. Everything will be sent to your emergency contact numbers. To enable this feature, go to the privacy and security setting, add up to 4 emergency contacts, and if you want, you can also disable photo and audio options. This is how the SOS message looks. There is a quick tip I have for you on the front camera. You can take selfies using a gesture. So this is handy if you are mounting this phone on a tripod or if the remote on your selfie stick is not working. There are few more features, like when your phone is resting on the table and you pick it up, if you have any pending notification, the phone will vibrate to let you know that you have notifications. Easy Mute basically mutes the ringtone when you flip the device, so no need to press the volume rocker. Next, let's talk about direct share and most importantly simple sharing, which is an unique and awesome feature of Samsung devices. When you want to share an image or any other file, you will get your frequent contacts from the contacts menu and Facebook Messenger right here. On the other hand, with simple sharing, you can share content up to 1 gig using a text message. The file will be uploaded into Samsung server and the link to the file will be shared via a text message, which you can send using WhatsApp, Facebook and also Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, etc. After 24 hours of upload, the file will be deleted from the Samsung storage server. The shared link can be opened on any handset including Windows and iOS devices. Now this dual SIM smartphone features smart dual SIM feature, that is, you can still get calls on the SIM 2 even when you are busy on the SIM 1. The call will be basically forwarded. Now let's talk about my favorite feature. This secure folder application is preloaded into your smartphone. You can use fingerprint for unlocking this software. This enables you to maintain a secret profile on your smartphone. You can add system and third-party applications. Whatever you do to these apps won't really affect the original applications you have on your Samsung smartphone. You can even download applications, and of course you have to log into your Play Store account with the same or a different account. So it's basically a phone within a phone. You can separate your work and personal life with this software. For example, let me take an image and show you that this photo stays on the secure folder gallery only. The original gallery won't have any trace of it. There is a secure application as well, which consists of the secure folder, and there is also an option for locking and hiding your applications. Again, you can use fingerprint as the password. This password need not to be the same as your unlocking or your secure folder password. If you don't want to keep any trace of an app, you can actually hide them. Well, as you can see, the 3D Mark app is vanished. I want to mention here only downloaded apps can be hidden. You can even make your Wi-Fi connection secured using encryption and by blocking unwanted requests. The default duration for the secure folder sessions is 6 hours, though you can extend it up to 48 hours using the Opera Max browser you have preloaded. Now you must be familiar with this S-Bike mode, which is a great application for the bikers. When you are driving a bike, the phone can handle your calls. If the call is important, S-Bike mode will ask the caller to press 1, then only your call will get through, and to answer the call you have to basically stop your bike because there is a motion lock. And you have also smart reply, that is, you can actually share your estimated journey time with the caller using a text message. There is also ultra data saving mode, which can save up to 50% of your browsing and downloading data. Opera Max browser will be used for data compression. There is also S power planning. You can reserve an amount of battery for calls. So really great thinking by Samsung. You can set the level. You also have extend battery time option. There are 3 different modes you can choose from. So if you are going on a trip, this S power planning will be extremely handy. You can restrict background processes in 3 different levels and save battery. When your phone is off, your calls can be forwarded to your friend's number. Once you charge and switch the phone on, this mode will be disabled. There is also app power saving. To save battery power, apps that have not been used for more than 3 days will be set to save power. There are some very handy power saving modes you must be familiar with. You can get much better battery backup, especially with this ultra power saving mode. Just 10% battery level can offer around 5 or 6 hours of backup. There is of course theme support on this Samsung device. You can download numerous themes free of cost. Let me try one. These themes change the total look of the smartphone, including the color theme, the icons, the graphics, etc. Next, let's talk about the cameras on the Galaxy On Nxt. Well, the rear camera shoots 13 megapixel images and Full HD videos at 30 fps. The bitrate is around 17 to 18 mbps, so quite good actually. The front camera is 8 megapixel with Full HD recording, and the maximum aperture of both front and rear cameras is f1.9, which is excellent of course. The autofocusing speed, the shutter speed of this camera is one of the best I think, but of course the laser autofocus of Moto G4 Plus is faster. You have lots of camera modes including the Pro mode, which enables you to set a lot of settings. You can apply different effects, and I also like the beauty phase, which can airbrush your faces, make it slim with big eyes. Now it's time to check some camera samples. These images are captured in broad daylight, and the color rendering, the sharpness of the images are, I think, best in class. Samsung makes the best mid-range camera phones. There is no unnecessary over-sharpening like the Redmi Note 3 or Moto G4 Plus. The details, the dynamic range is much better than its competitors, so I'm overall extremely happy with the rear camera of Galaxy On Nxt. I will rate it 8.5 out of 10 considering the price tag. Let's now check some low light indoor images, and once again the noise handling of this phone is superb. The saturation level is again very good, details are also maintained. If you want, you can check these images on my Facebook page, facebook.com/gadgetsportal.
Hey, what's up guys, this is Shukesh once again, and you are watching a video sample from the Samsung Galaxy On Nxt. It's recording in Full HD and the cameras are basically same as the Galaxy J7 Prime.
Well, as you can see, the video quality of the rear camera on the Galaxy On Nxt is also awesome. The color recording and sharpness are really appreciable. There is no overexposure, the dynamic range and details are maintained. Overall, the video quality is excellent for a smartphone in this category. As I mentioned before, the autofocusing speed is also decent. There is no face detection or laser autofocus, but still it's quite nice, as you can see. Now let's have a quick look at an indoor video sample. As you can see, the noise level is still under control. There is only a single tube light or fluorescent lamp in this room right now, but still I think the details and the saturation level is quite good. Well friends, that's all in this full in-depth review. Thanks a lot for watching. Overall, this Galaxy On Nxt is an all-in-one device, especially the multimedia department is great. Gaming performance is slightly disappointing, but most of the games are actually playable, so if you are not a hardcore gamer, you can definitely consider this smartphone, especially for the camera and the looks, the build quality, the battery. But for hardcore gaming, you should look for the Galaxy J7 2016. The Moto G4, G4 Plus and also the Redmi Note 3 are great gaming devices. So we are at the end of this review. Thanks again for watching. If you have found this video interesting and helpful, do consider subscribing. You can also comment below if you have any question. This is Shukesh Panik signing off. Have a nice day.